Behind the Shades.
So, my husband and I, this is what you and I were talking earlier, was about tradition. And because we had gotten sick, a lot of our traditions didn't happen or they were late. And my husband kind of went into this depression a little bit. And it was like I could feel him searching to have that experience that he feels every year during Christmas, right? All the lights are up and we're watching the movies and we're in a good mood and the tree is up like December 1st or 2nd. And we're just, the whole month is a feel good month. And because we had gotten ill, it wasn't that. And I could see my husband kind of beating himself up about it. But what I got present to, I've been with this man for 17 years, and it only occurred to me this year how much tradition is such a part of who he is and his connection to where he came from. And I could see the little 5-year-old in him, during Christmas and being excited and wanting to wake up. Like, so we have a tradition, Boxing Day, we wake up at like 5 a.m. and we watch Sound of Music and we watch all the bonus features. So we spend like 6 hours just sitting together watching this movie every single year. And I could see that, it was really, really important to him, especially having been sick, to maintain all of those things for him to feel safe and whole. And, and I think about the families out there whose families this year have separated. I specifically know at least 25 just in my passing that are having a very different kind of Christmas, and how challenging that must be to let go of expectations that you've had for so long and to create your own and still give up the feeling that something's wrong and to actually be present and really like in the spirit, not just the doing of opening gifts and eating and the things that we do during Christmas, but really like feeling that we felt when we were 5 and 6 years old.
I strongly believe in that because this was the first true Christmas since 2018 from one Canadian to another.
Mhm.
And when you mentioned tradition, it just took me back to like my childhood where it's more than the gifts. It's the time, it's the effort, it's the people. It's just, there's people that I know are getting together who don't even like each other, but
Yeah.
because of the holiday spirit, they're like, let's spend time together, because it wasn't too long ago that we weren't allowed to have anyone over to our home. It wasn't too long ago that we had something on our face, that we had to distance, that we had to do this. And now we're like, hey, I get a true Christmas. So, like your husband, and probably like so many other people, I can see why they went immediately back to their childhood, because their childhood had their grandmother, their grandfather, their mom, their dad, the uncles, their aunts, the cousins. No one had dogs, but we had everything back
That's
then,
right. That's
right?
right.
So I could
Yeah.
imagine that he was feeling a little down because there's people this year who were together last year.
Yeah.
And there's people who were happier in years gone that may not be as happy now. And you touched on it, that there's a lot of people who this Christmas is a lot different than the years prior. And I know that the first Monday in January is usually deemed like the most depressing day because it's the first business day, beginning of the week, that all of that is gone. I always said from Thanksgiving to the end of the year, it's all family, family, family. You have the big
Mm.
dinners, you have Remembrance Day, you have all this stuff, Halloween for the kids. And then come January, it's a whole different ball game. So what type of experience did you have within your home as well as the people that you're helping with, right?
Yeah. Well, I want to answer like just what you said before I answer that question. I want to say, see, I'm opposite. For me, the most exciting time for me is the week of from my birthday to about January 5th, because that is when I am in creation mode. That is when I'm really looking at myself and going, okay, Jeanell, how are you going to level up this year? How are you going to really like make the difference and pay your rent on this earth? You know what I mean? Like, how am I going to really show up? And so I am, during that week, I'm manifesting, I'm creating, I am goal setting, I am planning, I am budgeting, I'm in that mode for about a month. And I think for talking about relationships, I think that's what's missing in so many relationships. You know, why? Let's think about this. Why is being engaged so exciting? Why is the day you get married so exciting? It's because you have a vision. You have something that you are looking forward to. There is possibility, and the possibilities are endless, and they're all positive. And you have this connection with someone who you're like, hey, man, I get to go through life with someone else. And you create the house and the dog and the fence and the car and the babies, right? You're like, it's all planned out in your head. At least this is how women think anyway. I don't know if men are like that. But once we get married and then the kids grow up and then you get into work and then you get older, you stop creating. And now you're just kind of, all you got are your memories. Those are the only things that excite you now, is thinking about the past. But your future is right, like starts here in the present. And so I feel like if we can move our energy from, and not to say that lingering in like nostalgia is a bad thing, but when that's all we have to hold on to, and it actually makes us feel worse, because now we're like, oh, I lost that thing. Right now, it's like, it's actually not good for us. And so I think it's really important for couples and just people in general to always be thinking and creating yourself.